Armenia is sending Brunette with Future Lover to Liverpool this year, but will we be loving this one in the future on stage? Armenia is heading to Liverpool with Brunette and Future Lover. Now, obviously, last year they had the iconic bop that was Snap. Will this compare? Let's have a little listen. So that's a bit of Armenia's entry for this year. Jack, what do you make of it?
So I often talk, when I give these little reviews, about my first impression. Because I think that's important, because that's what most people watching this will be doing. They'll have not heard it before. They'll be judging on their first listen, and that's the impression. And my first impression of this was massively underwhelming. Because she'd been hyped up as this. She was going to send something ethnic. She was going to send something like a real bop. And to send this, I was like, oh, is that it? It was a strange one, though, because it sort of was similar as when I was watching the Kate Blanchett film Tar. When I first watched it, I was like, what is this? And I didn't really enjoy it. But then I couldn't get it out of my head for like 2 or 3 days. And it was exactly the same with this. I found myself thinking about it and being like, that's mysterious. It's a strange contrast of ballad, but then rap, but somehow it works. And she's so captivating to look at in a music video that it's just, I couldn't get out of my head. And it suddenly has become one of my favorites of the year. Because I think it's really classy. It's really, really classily done. It's very well produced. And I think lyrically, it's probably the strongest song of the year. I think especially in the rap bit, just some of the bits that she comes out with are really very, very profound. Like one of them, I'm hypnotized by someone that I've never ever met, is probably the lyric of the year. I think it's just if you read it, you can think about it for ages, and I think it's really well written. There are a few little grammatical mistakes, but that's fine. I'm not going to complain about that. It's a good song. So I am.
Because Eurovision songs are known for their lyrics making complete sense all the time.
Of course. I mean, at least it's not Georgia, because that is lyrics by Google Translate. At least this actually is cohesive, and it has a bit of, especially that last minute where it all comes together and it swells and it's the orchestral. It's sort of a lump in the throat type thing, and hopefully she can sing it. Hopefully, because we've not heard any live performances of this one yet. So I am pleasantly surprised by this, and really, really enjoy it. And it's among, if not my favorite Armenian entry. And it's grown on me a lot because I was not a fan the first time I listened to it, which is my concern for May. But I think it's really, really strong from Armenia. I really like it.
Interesting. Yeah, I know what you mean. It definitely was underwhelming the first time I heard it, and it kind of felt, the first kind of minute and a half feels like something like Victoria from Bulgaria a couple of years ago. It's very kind of almost Billie Eilish like, and the problem I have with this one is that it only really switches me on and engages me after about a minute and a half in. First kind of minute and a half, I'm getting a bit bored. I'm getting like, come on, please, can something happen? But then when it happens, it's very, I think the fact that it's kind of a female rap song, it's not something that we get that often at Eurovision, which is quite nice. So that kind of makes it stand out. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a bit of a grower, which is not always a great thing with Eurovision, because kind of first impressions really count, because the majority of people who are voting are watching these songs for kind of the first or second time, really. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's one of my favorite Armenian entries over the last few years. I think Snap just right up there for me. But yeah, I mean, it's perfectly nice. I don't mind it, but does it kind of blow my socks off? Probably not.
You're right about it being sort of a little bit slow to build, but if there's one thing Armenia can do, it's staging. You know, they are Eurovision, Junior Eurovision, they are probably the best at staging in all of Eurovision. So I think they'll find something to make this a performance. So I'm not massively worried about it not being the most engaging first half of the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So they're going in the second semi-final, obviously the less kind of competitive of the two. Do you think it's going to get through to the final, and how would you rank it personally?
Well, I'm mildly concerned about it going second in that second semi-final. It's not normally the slot that lends itself to qualifying.
No winner has ever gone second in the contest.
In the final, true. But songs have qualified second from the semi-final, which sort of makes me think, why is it second? Because the producers have all of the staging ideas. What's going first?
Beats me.
I don't know. You'll see it on the graphic. I can't remember off the top of my head. What is going first? That's really irritating me.
Is it like Denmark?
Denmark's going first.
Hey.
So I think this will contrast quite a lot with Denmark, actually. So there you go. We winning. We came in at the same time. I think this will contrast quite a lot with Denmark. And I actually think this might do quite well. I think this is top 10 material from Armenia. I'd like to see it in the top 10 because I think it's really strong. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10 because I really, really enjoy it. But it would have been a 9 had it convinced me the first time I listened to it, but it didn't. And that's why I'm a little bit apprehensive about its chances in May. But this is really strong from Armenia. And I mean, as a song, miles better than Snap. The only reason why Snap's doing quite well is because it's a TikTok thing and she's a little bit kooky and she won't show.
Snap was wholesome. This is definitely not the same kind of vibe as Snap. Yeah, I know you mean. I hope it kind of stands out enough on its own to kind of get through to the final, because I do think the final will be better for it. For me personally, it's a 7, just because maybe it's not done all its full growing on me just yet. Maybe I need a couple more listens to be fully sold and flying flag Armenia. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid entry, and you're right about Armenia being able to kind of do staging pretty well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what it'll do.
Fingers crossed it'll do pretty well. We'll see. So that's what we think. Do let us know what you think. Comments are open. Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Do whatever you want. It's been doing quite well on YouTube, actually, the music video for this. So it's got a lot of fans. We'll see if it'll carry through to May. Thank you very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.